Updates today on the future of two dirt tracks, plus another NASCAR driver is going racing on dirt, and what's ahead this weekend. Let's go. It's Friday, April 14th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is Dirt Tracker Daily. We'll kick your Friday off with a little bit of racetrack news. I've got updates for you today on the future of both Calistoga Speedway in California and Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. Last month, residents of Calistoga pretty widely rejected a bond measure that would have allowed the city to purchase the local fairgrounds where Calistoga Speedway sits. The fairgrounds are currently owned by Napa County, who shut everything down when the Fair Association went bankrupt several years ago. Since then, there have been multiple attempts to revive the track and the facility, but it remains in limbo. And the bond measure being defeated certainly wasn't a good sign for the future. But there remains at least some measure of hope that the city can find a way to purchase the fairgrounds, and an email was sent in the last few days by HMC Promotions, which previously operated the racetrack, looking for support. A new city mayor and a new county supervisor seem intent on finding a way to make a deal happen, and more creative financing options are being discussed. So we'll keep an eye on how things progress into the future. If you want to get involved or see more details, go find Hunt's Race World on Facebook. Most of the verbiage that was sent out in the email is available there in a Facebook post, along with ways that you can help. Also, the future of PPMS suddenly seems very much in doubt. Back on Wednesday, they posted to their Facebook page an acknowledgement that the racetrack was under contract, but that it hadn't technically been sold yet. According to the post, this has apparently happened multiple times in recent years, with each of those not resulting in a sale. The track is moving forward with its 2023 season, which opens on April 29th. They also recently announced a streaming deal for the year with the Cushion, and they started a YouTube channel. There was also a short piece this week in Area Auto Racing News, which I'm assuming this Facebook post was in response to. That piece in Area Auto says the track could close after 2023, that the land is currently under contract for $2.75 million. I couldn't find the real estate listing that Area Auto was referring to, though, which was supposedly on LoopNet. Public records do show that the property has been for sale or lease off and on since 2016. There are no details on who is potentially buying the facility or what their plans are with it. Track is set to host Western PA Speed Week, Boss Sprint Cars, the Fast Series, and the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Pittsburgher 100, amongst other weekly racing this season. One other news item before we move on to some racing. NASCAR driver Ross Chastain will try his hand at dirt late model racing coming up. He'll pilot the Nice Motorsports late model that we've seen Carson Hocevar drive. He's going to do that in the upcoming Lucas Show at Georgetown Speedway on April 28th. Will definitely be a dive into the deep end for Chastain, driving against the Lucas competitors on the big half-mile Georgetown track. You would have thought maybe he would want to ease his way in a little bit, but this is definitely not that. He'll join a growing list of NASCAR competitors we've seen make dirt starts in recent years, including names like William Byron, Kyle Busch, and Chase Elliott, amongst kind of the usual suspects. Lucas Series is off this weekend. They'll be back racing April 21st and 22nd at Tri-City and Macon. A couple race winners from last night included Ross Robinson at Georgetown and Chad Simpson at Davenport. Robinson got to the lead at Georgetown with 5 to go and topped Tyler Emery and Brian Bernheisel. Max Blair won the night's rush feature over Trevor Collins. If you haven't watched that Davenport MLRA feature from Thursday, I'd check it out today on Flow Racing. I believe there were 8 lead changes among 5 different drivers. Brandon Shepard was driving away with it, but he suffered a flat with 10 laps to go. That left the battle for the win down to Shannon Babb, Simpson, and Ryan Gustin. Gustin was absolutely ripping the high side, but it eventually bit him when he stepped over the cushion with 2 to go and ended up off of turn 2. Chad Simpson held on for the win, and now the MLRA competitors will head to 34 Raceway tonight and tomorrow for the Slocum 50. The smaller Davenport configuration has put on some absolute bangers in recent seasons. It's got to be like one of those, perfect late model racetracks. Definitely check some racing out there if you haven't. And speaking of really great dirt late model racetracks, Volunteer Speedway this weekend, XR Super Series is starting up their 2023 campaign. The Saturday show is going to pay $100,000 to win. There are rain chances around today, but things look pretty good for Saturday. If they do get to race tonight, they'll run dual 5,000 to win features ahead of the big money on Saturday. Chris Madden won there earlier in the week, and the field is going to be stout. Hudson O'Neal, Brandon Overton, Madden, Devin Moran, Tanner English, Ricky Thornton Jr., Tim McCready are just a few of the names expected. Jonathan Davenport also has this weekend on his schedule as well. And I think he could be one to watch. He ran second to Kyle Larson at Bulls Gap last week. I think this one will definitely turn into a dogfight on the high banks of Bulls Gap, and so much money on the line. Definitely one of a few awesome late model shows to check out this weekend. If you want to see a full rundown of late model shows coming up, basically kind of a conglomerated late model schedule, check out the schedule section over at dirtondirt.com. It's a great listing page. There's a lot of information there. Definitely recommend checking that out. For the open wheel fans this weekend, you've got the World of Outlaws and Xtreme Midgets at Pevely. The All-Stars are headed to Attica. You've got USAC Sprint Cars at Bloomington and Hobstadt. Silver Crown's going to be at Terre Haute, and the NARC Series is at Tulare, among other races. Carson Macedo leads David Gravel and Brad Sweet in the Outlaw standings heading to Pevely, and Sweet and Macedo were the winners there in 2022. Macedo has been the hottest full-timer as of late, riding an 18-race top 10 streak, and he's got the best average finish over the previous 5 and 10 race stretches. Not surprising to see why he's the points leader. This could also be a good weekend for Sheldon Haudenschild to keep rolling. He's got 4 Pevely wins and has only finished outside the top 10 there 3 times in the past 17 races. As for the midget portion of the event, Jade Avedissian carries a 30-point lead in over Kyle Jones. Michael Pickens and Chance Crum won here a season ago. We'll also see Rico Abreu back in a midget. He's going to jump in Tanner Thorson's car, so he could be in line there for some wins at Pevely. With the All-Stars, they're at Attica for take 2 after the original weekend was lost to weather. There's nothing to talk about championship-wise because no points have been awarded so far in 2023. Tyler Courtney is going to open up his title defense, and he ran well earlier this week at Lakeside with High Limit. He also swept this Attica weekend a year ago. Should be a healthy field of cars with the Ohio regulars incoming. Fremont did cancel on Saturday, so that should help things out a little bit. Wayne County does have a fast show on Saturday, so we'll see how many guys decide to go that direction and not to Attica. In Indiana, it's a busy weekend for USAC. They got sprint cars at Bloomington tonight. They've got sprint cars at Hobstadt tomorrow, and then Silver Crown headed for Terre Haute on Sunday. Those guys will certainly be racing with heavy hearts after the passing of sprint car driver Justin Owen a week ago at Lawrenceburg. Brady Bacon is the current sprint car points leader after just those few Florida shows, and this is the Silver Crown season opener. Sunday's show for Silver Crown is expecting 36 cars. Now in California, the NARC 410 sprint cars have 2 nights coming up at Tulare for the Dennis Roth Classic. Corey Day won the season opener a week ago at Hanford, and it looks like we could have a fight on hand all season for the NARC title. There'll be some added entries for the weekend as well. We've got Corey Eliason and Craig Kinzer headed west to run cars for Roth Motorsports. Tulare is a great racetrack. I think these will be fun sprint cars after dark shows tonight and tomorrow. Drop me a comment. Let me know what your dirt racing plans are for the weekend. Hopefully Mother Nature will continue to play nice over the next few days. And with the weather starting to cooperate more and plenty of tracks and series racing this weekend, there's a lot coming up on the streaming schedule for the next 3 days, something like 80 shows. If you're looking for something to watch through the weekend, head over to dirttracker.com/watch tonight. All the listings from the dirt racing streaming services are there, plus all of the links to watch everything you need to know. I hope you guys have a good dirt racing weekend out there. Appreciate you tuning in all week. We'll see you right back here on Monday.